Alright. Mic test. 1, 2. We're going live.
You are now listening to the Still Watchable podcast, featuring Goo Assassins. Episodes 6 through 8 contains language.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Alright. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Fran. What's going on?
So today we're going to cover Goo Assassins episodes 6 through 8. Do you have the names of them there?
Yeah. Episode 6 is Goo Assassins. Episode 7 is Legacy, and episode 8 is Ladies' Night. Ladies' Night. Before I finish saying Ladies' Night, I was going to say nice, simple names, and then it blended together, and I can't talk.
Hey, I mean, we're all a little bit rusty when it comes to Goo Assassins. It's been a while since we picked this up. So, episode 6, Goo Assassins. That's the one where they start out trying to, exorcise these bugs and snakes, right?
Yeah.
How did they get to that point? I don't remember how they rationalized they needed to get all this stuff.
It was just, they quickly, again, like most things, they just quickly sort of glossed over it, but it was from this ritual of gathering these 5 animals to basically create a poison that they had to, douse each animal with their blood, and then, it was one of those things where I don't even know if they said, it was in an ancient scroll, or if he went to the land of wind and ghosts and found some, information on this, ritual to do.
Yeah.
It was very quickly glossed over. It was just
Right.
yeah, whatever. They have to do it, whatever. Let's not dwell on it, people. Let's move on. It's okay, sure.
I'm wondering where they got all these clear containers. Did they raid a museum and steal everything except the artifacts, to put these snakes in?
It's it's not important, guys. It's no, where did they get a fucking snake? It's no, don't worry about it. All right. It's
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just very quickly glossed over it. It was just that just roll with this. It's
Yeah.
either get on board or get out. I don't know what else to tell you. It's okay.
And it's you call it an exorcism. I see these animals just fighting each other to survive. It's I can't say I've been to an exorcism. I can't say it doesn't look like that, but.
It's all right, Goo Assassins, we'll just roll with it. Yeah, so they do that plan of them dousing their blood on each animal, everyone who was affected by the fire Wu. And then it was the last surviving animal. They extracted his poison and then used that to make some weird tincture to give to Uncle Six to exorcise the fire Wu out of him.
Yeah. By the way, if someone you knew asked you if you wanted to go to an exorcism, would you go?
I don't think so.
What's the best case scenario? It's all bad.
It's all bad, because then I'm well, what happens if they do exorcise the demon? There's no guarantee that thing's going straight back to hell, right? That could just jump. That could just easily bail out. That could bail out before the end, right? Because it's if the demon has control of jumping in, that means he has control of jumping out, right?
Right.
So then if he thinks it's working, the demon could just be oh, wait, I can bail out of here before they get the final thing. I don't need to grip onto this. I can just into someone else and then lay low for a while. Okay.
Things are haunted. What we don't know, and the CDC hasn't put out a 6 feet recommendation from an exorcism to stay away from the demonic droplets. How do I know I'm not going to be the next host?
There are no repeatable experiments that can be done to prove the validity of any of this thing, right? It's it's fucking demons. We don't know, okay?
Right. And then best case scenario is that there isn't some haunting going on, and then you just waste your time, and you're why do I know these people?
I know, and then you're why did that person have a straight up seizure? Why are they dead now? It's
it's why aren't we in the hospital?
I know.
Terrible.
That is what. Why have we died?
So yeah, I think the correct answer is no. You don't go to an exorcism. You just advise them to call 911.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what's happening, but we should not be alone in a room in the dark with some priest you found off Craigslist, okay?
And someone brought snakes just because.
just brought snakes? It's like, why? Okay. It's like, no one in
Now I
here.
don't remember.
No one in here is Catholic. Where did you find this priest? Okay. I'm sorry. It's like.
Man. I started reading. Oh, this is veering way off topic. I started reading a pretty good comic book. a comic book that's basically like The Exorcist. What's it called? I think it's called Outsiders. Or Outsider. I read the first volume a few months ago, and I meant to follow up on it. It's pretty good.
Gotcha. When you just said
I recommend
Outsiders, I immediately thought of the book and the movie with the greasers and the socias.
Oh, yeah, they made us watch that in like middle school or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We sure did. Don't know why.
Yeah, what is the point of
I
that?
don't
It's like, what
know.
is the cultural reference
I don't
to
know
seeing
what the
these
cultural
greasers?
significance of reading or watching The Outsiders was. We read the book, right? And then did we just watch the
Right.
movie? Because,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
all I remember from the movie is them sitting on top of a car and like that's it.
oh, way more stuff happened, friend. Soda Pop, Pony
Really?
Roy, okay, the knifing, the fire, oh, freaking Matt Dillon,
There
oh,
was a fire.
oh,
That's right, man.
fucking Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, okay.
He was in that?
Yes, he was in it, okay? He was Johnny. He was Johnny, son. Johnny.
The way you he was John. The way you answered that is probably the exact same way Ralph Macchio answers questions like, "You were in something else other than Karate Kid?" Yes, I was in Outsiders. I was Johnny.
You're damn right. You're damn
Who
right.
was Johnny? Rico, who was Johnny in that? What did he do? Crane kick?
What he knifed the no, he whipped out his switchblade and knifed the Sosha, and then during the fire he got the beam falling on him and he died at the hospital. Okay? This is an emotional roller coaster of an arc of a character, okay?
Spoilers for Outsiders in
spoiler
Goo Assassins
alert.
episode 6.
Spoiler alert for Outsiders in episode 6 of Goo Assassins. Just
Oh my
say,
God.
okay. Just do it for Johnny, okay?
So what happens other
What
than
happened in Goo Assassins?
I feel like when I think back to earlier episodes, all I remember is like restaurant scenes, and it's like
That was the main setting for a lot of this. I mean, the exorcism took place in the restaurant. Okay.
yeah, it's hard to separate them because like I understand some series will muddle through the middle and like that's fine. But yeah, there are times where I'm like, if there's one more restaurant scene, I don't know if I can take this.
I mean, that whole episode was mainly the exorcism. Like, not much happened. I mean, there was like a fight scene between Jenny and Zan, and then you kind of learn that Zan is actually working for McConnell at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Because Uncle Six was just like, oh, you're not gonna be a new tribe ad boss. I think he made some remark like you'll always be a follower or something.
Yeah, he was kind of like being a dick to Sam.
He was
and it's
very.
Like, are you trying to create a supervillain?
I know. It's like, dude, have you learned nothing? Okay.
Right? It's like, have you seen her haircut? Does she look like she's gonna let that slide?
It's like, have you seen or read any form of media? Okay, if you belittle your underling, it's like, have you not read Julius Caesar? Okay.
Exactly. It's like you're gonna be the one at the end going at two, Zan, at two.
Two. Okay. It's like, have you learned nothing? Okay. Because even
Right.
then, it was the thing, like, Zan considers Uncle Six family, but he very clearly doesn't, he very just clearly considers her an underling.
Yeah.
Because
And
then,
it seems like he gets it that she considers him family, and he's just like, nah, ain't happening.
yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not even like he's oblivious to her feelings. He's just like, it's
Right.
not happening. All right. That ain't
And it's
dancing,
like-
Sally.
It's like, dude, you don't even have to go out of your way to do anything. All you gotta do is be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
But he's like, nah.
Just give her
keep dreaming.
just give her a thumbs up every once a week. That's all you got to do. Okay, just
You don't even need to leave the back seat of the limo.
No.
Just throw the thumbs up
Just-
every once in a
that's
while.
all you got to do. Just that little gesture would be enough. Okay. Cause Zan is like commenting on like, why are you willing? He's like, we don't even know if this exorcism will work. It might kill you. And then
Right.
he's just like, "Oh, you don't understand what you would do for your family." And she's like, "What the fuck are you?" It's just like digging the knife in more and shit.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like, come on, Uncle Six, just one thumbs up, one time. That's all you gotta do,
One time, just the one.
just the one.
Uh, yeah, there are some stubborn characters in
Mm.
this. Like the Union's another one.
Yeah,
Like she's like, yeah, I guess it's possible to remove whatever the MacGuffin from the guy, but it's a lot of work. It's like it's easier to just go pop, pop, pop. Take care of
either.
him.
That's all you gotta do. Okay, it's like that Count of
Yeah.
Monte Cristo where, um, Giacomo is like, "Look, all we gotta do is go over there. I'll shoot them in the head. Pop, pop. It'll be done. It'll take a weekend or whatever." He's like, "That's all." He's like, "What is this elaborate plan for revenge?" He's like, "You send me over there with a gun. I'll take care of this, okay?"
Yeah.
He's like, "It's
Oh,
seven."
that is such a great. That was a great role by what's his name? What's that actor's
Oh
name?
God, why am I blank? I think I want
Let
to
me look
say
it
I
up.
want to say his first name is Luis, but let me.
Yeah. That movie has solid casting.
That
Like,
movie is so good. Okay, that movie's so
yeah, it
underrated.
is.
Films, God, there's so many Count of Monte Cristo films.
I
What
know.
year? Where is the 90s or 2000s? Oh, 20. Oh, there it is. 2000.
I think I got it. That's Luis Guzman,
Yes. Okay, so I was right on his first name.
Jacopo. Yeah, that has solid casting. Jim Caviezel was great. It's Edmond Dantes. Oh my God, I didn't even put that together. His son
It's
is a
Superman.
young Superman.
Yeah.
It's Superboy.
It's Superboy. Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh
I was gonna
my
say, now
gosh,
we're gonna
that's
start
Henry
talking about
Cavill.
Superman. It's like this is not
Yeah,
Goo
yeah.
Assassins. This is pure.
His wife, I don't know how to say her name, but she was given that too. Dagmara Daman.
I have.
Nish?
Oh wait, I clicked
I
on
give
her.
up.
Her name is written here in IPA, or at least her last name is. All right,
Yeah,
so I'm guessing her first name is just like Dagmara or something. It's not written in IPA.
yeah.
Domin Dominchik. Why is that syllable break there? Why isn't there a second syllable break written? Who transcribed this? Sorry. Dominchik.
Oh, okay, cool. There we go. And then who else is in? Guy Pearce is
Guy
always a great
Pearce,
bad guy.
always.
Richard Harris, legendary.
Richard Harris, if he's like, I could teach you mathematics, yeah. He was like, yeah, astrology, how to read and write. He's just like, yes, you dumb bastard. Did we talk about this in another podcast, or did we just have this
We
conversation?
might have.
Or I know
We should talk about Richard Harris in every podcast.
I know we've had this conversation about Richard Harris and Count of Monte Cristo before. It's a topic that comes up like frequently in our friendship. Okay.
Are you saying our friendship is based on mutual revenge against each other?
Fran, we have had instances where for some reason there's like been a blood feud between. Okay, remember when I bought you food at fucking what was it? Chipotle that one time,
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, so that's why we're gonna be eternal rivals." And I was like, "Eternal rivals, Fran? I bought you dinner. I literally just got you a burrito. What are you talking about? An eternal blood feud between us, dog?" It's like.
I do remember that, but I feel like the comment was justified. I just don't remember why.
I remember why, okay. It was because of the whole, like, my House of Yi heritage, and then you were saying how you were actually from a line of
Oh.
guys that, what was it, that rebelled against,
The Spanish.
right, yeah, so then it was just like, oh, Richard, you're from royalty, I'm from people who fight royalty. It means we're destined to, like, hate each other. I was like, Fred, I just bought you dinner. What the hell?
That's right. You're like with a drink.
It's like with a drink, man. It's like I pitched in for the guac. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, it's like everyone knows the guac is extra. Okay.
How could you be a rival of a man who you buy the extra guac for?
It's like, how is this possible, friend? How can there be a blood feud between us? I bought that would be the weirdest like movie ending. Like if you're standing over me with a gun ready to shoot me, and my plea is, I bought the guac, I paid for the guac, and then you just pull the trigger, and then the credits roll. Okay.
I feel like Tarantino's gonna use that at some point.
Somehow that's gonna get worked in.
It's too good.
I bought the
Oh my
guac.
God. I bought the
You
rock.
just pull the trigger.
Then that's it. Poof. Either Tarantino or what's his name? Beat Kitano. I could see it. I could see that being a Beat Kitano ending.
Oh my god, it could be. Just oh, fuck. I can
Right? You
imagine
can
that
see it right
because
now,
the
right?
shot would be right, so the camera would be behind me and at a low angle, so
Yeah.
Beat's standing up, pointing the gun down, and it's powering over
Yeah.
me. So you don't see me, you just see my back as I plead,
Yeah.
and then Beat Kitano just has his stern, stoic face, and then just pulls
Right.
the trigger.
Cut to credits.
Cut to credits, and then a violin plays or whatever. It's like
Yeah. Oh.
if we had the budget.
Anyway, well, I still have. Yeah, if we had the budget, we can make dreams happen, right?
All right, so getting back to Goo Assassins here.
No, hold on. Getting back to Count of Monte Cristo, right?
Okay.
Michael Wincott. We don't want to forget his role as the guy who guards the Chateau d'If and tortures Edmond Dantes.
That's right, once a year.
This actor's always gold. I've never seen him not be gold in anything.
Did he pass?
I feel like he's one of the most underrated actors. Is he? Did he pass?
Hold on, let me click on him. Oh no, he's still alive. Why did I think he passed? Maybe. Oh no, I know why. I'm thinking of. Oh, that's terrible of me. I'm thinking of Alan Rickman because they were both together in Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So I don't know why. Yeah, so I don't know why I confused them for the second. That's terrible. I was like, I'd very iconically know Alan Rickman, but then I was like, did Michael Wincott also pass? And it's like, no, it was just Alan Rickman.
Right, your mind probably went to that movie and that someone died. And
Yeah.
Then, yeah. He was also really good in. Did you ever see the Basquiat biopic?
No.
He played this like gallery owner, or he was like a critic or something, and he's kind of like the guy that got him started in that movie. Like, well, brought him to the public's eye, and he plays a really good role, like this guy that kind of gets snubbed later in the movie. I don't know. He's always just a solid actor. Anyway, all right. So Goo Assassins. So.
I thought you were gonna go back to Count of Monte Cristo after that one.
Nah, I finally. Sometimes I just realize when you gotta let things go.
All right, full Frozen. Let's do this. Speaking of Frozen, okay, no.
Thankfully, I haven't seen that movie, so I can't
so
figure
good,
out.
so good. She has fucking Omega.
I started a job in New Orleans once where these people were talking about Elsa, and I was like, look, I don't know who the hell Elsa is. Well, why do you keep referencing Elsa? And then everyone reacted the same way, like, you don't know Elsa? And then they'd start singing a song, and I was like, this isn't helping me.
None of what you're giving is like there's the unified gasp or whatever, and you're like, look,
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know Elsa, okay?
Yeah.
And it's not like when something like that happens, it's not anyone's like, oh no, it's the character from this. They all just scream, you don't know this thing, and then they start like quoting the thing. It's like, in no way are you giving me any pertinent information, okay?
Yeah. It's like, clearly, if I don't know the character's name and he or she is a main character,
I'm not gonna know the words.
I'm not gonna get their quotes.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna know the words to a song suddenly, because at that point, like a lot of times, a person will just be like, "Oh yeah, okay," like just to sort of get it over with, and sort of be left alone. But it's like, no one at any point is giving me helpful information. Okay.
Right.
All right. So getting back to Goo Assassins.
So there is some scene where Yin Yin's like, all right, if you're not going to do it my way, I think our time here is done. It's basically like the band equivalent of having creative differences and they break up.
What are we talking about?
Because Yin Yin wants to kill.
I completely forgot what we're talking about. Yeah, Yin Yin wants to kill the fire Wu. She wants to kill all the Wus. And and he's like, no, I can save them. He's like, isn't the whole point of killing these people to extract their power if I can just extract their power without killing them, right?
Right.
Job's a good one. It's like, why is that any different?
Which, put a pin on that for later in the series.
Right.
Like, all right, so
because Ying Ying is just like, no, he needs to die, and even whatchamacallit, Lou is just like, no, we should just kill him, because he's still embittered about the fire scar and all that jazz.
Right.
So he's just like, no, just kill him. He's like, isn't that what originally you were supposed to do? He's like, just kill him. And then it's
Yeah, Lou's got the bloodlust.
yeah, he
He's
does.
ready to go.
He wants the murder. Okay, Batman's got the bloodlust again. Okay. But that does not sate his bloodlust. Okay.
uh,
No, yeah. So that happens. So that's kind of. I mean, that episode. Yeah, not much happened. It was a lot of just talking, and it was
yeah.
it was mainly the exorcism. At one point, like Tommy goes to check on Uncle Six during the exorcism, and he's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And then Uncle Six like starts like choking him out or something.
Oh, right.
Oh no, he grabs a hold
This
of
is
him.
weird.
He grabs a hold of him and starts burning him too. I was like,
Yeah,
I was trying to think of how that worked, but no, his hand didn't get free. He just steel clawed onto Tommy, and then just started transferring the heat and started burning Tommy. But then eventually,
Yeah, Tommy was getting it bad.
Tommy is getting it real bad throughout this whole series, and then eventually the fire woo gets extracted and gets onto that like turtle shell piece or whatever, and then they wrap it up. And then Kai gives it to CG. He's like, put this in a safe spot.
Right.
Yeah, and then Zan reveals she's working for McCullough. And then I think that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, I do have a note that at some point Kai tells Six, trust me, we're gonna, I have a plan. And Six gives him a look like, oh, I should trust you. You literally made me almost drink that poison soup. Like,
I know, he's just like, he gives him a side eye a lot. He's like, really, trust you, dog? He's like, hey, you're still alive, buddy, all right? He's like, yeah, it's because you were like not strong enough to just knife me when you had the chance, okay?
Right, it's like you're gonna kill me like in the worst way possible.
Mm-hmm. And then implicates a poor shop owner, too? Okay.
Yeah, he knows about that for some reason.
He does, all right, he just does.
He's like, you got this look in your eye like you implicated a shop owner, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's in that episode, but at some point Tommy's been going to like these AA meetings, and
yeah,
and he kind of befriends someone there, and
yeah,
which we don't really see much of her after that, but it's funny because Tommy kind of like seems like he wants to start this role as a mentor to this person, and the writers are conscious enough to have Tommy say like, I'm not a weirdo stalker. It's like, even though my best friend creeps up on people like in the night, like out their windows. That happened.
Oh god, I don't know what now. Freaking Pat Benatar's Shadows in the Night is playing in my head. We're running with the
Imagine if they played that during
that would have been amazing. All right, we're running with the shadows. I can't sing. That is one of my wishes for a genie. If I had, it would be a complete waste of a wish, but I want to be able to sing well.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Well, you know what we could do is just put the song in the episode and then get sued.
We could get sued, or they could. It's like, we're not making any money off this, but they could do a copyright claim.
Okay. So let's see. I think you were in the middle of saying.
I was talking about Pat Benatar.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes they'll do copyright claims where they're like, "Oh, you used our copyright stuff. Any money you make goes to us instead."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then some people just be like straight up, no, this you're using our thing, just take it down.
Right.
So there's like a copyright claim and a copyright strike. Although who knows how it'll work for this. You might have to cut out me attempting to sit Pat Benatar.
It's that strict.
Although that's one of those things where it's like, how much length of the song can you actually like quote?
Right. It depends on whether it's for. I think we couldn't use it if it's for entertainment, but if it's for different purposes like education or critique, you might be able to use more of it.
Well, this is definitely critique, Fred.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, for entertainment purposes or all that sort of stuff. Like, there's always weird nuances and sort of like little minutiae. You can be like, oh no, you can argue this point. Because I don't know, I always think about that in Top Gear, right, where they get like working visas, but they can't be. But they get visas for an informational program. They can't be entertainment for some reason. Like the visa is very specific, so they always have to say in our very factual program tonight. And then they're like, no, we're not. They're like, we're not doing this like to entertain. We're not doing this for a laugh. We're doing this for research. Okay, they're like, we need to know the truth.
One thing
about which car can get to 100 miles an hour the fastest.
Right. Yeah. Show's great. One thing I find funny about the copyright stuff was, for the longest time it was people would be shocked by the fact that the Happy Birthday song is copyrighted, and so like,
Yeah.
but it seems like at some point recently they fought back to make it public domain.
Yeah.
Like people just got really like enraged about that because which I understand at that point it's just a cultural thing. It's it just took over,
Yeah, exactly. I literally had to wiki the Happy Birthday to You song, and there is a whole section on about the copyright status and a 2013 lawsuit.
Also, it is 2013.
Well, that's just what this one... I'm not fully reading it, but I think it started even before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information about this, because, yeah, like you said, this is a whole thing about, like, you would think it would just be public domain, but for some reason there's still, like, a copyright claim, and then... The copyright expired in the European Union on January 1st, 2017. A U.S. federal court ruled in 2016 that Warner and Chappell's copyright claim was invalid, and there was no other claim to copyright. However, there's no reference on this information in this Wikipedia page. So I'm kind of, like, concerned about that. Always reference your sources. You can't just write a sentence and then just sort of, like...
Right.
Anyway, getting back to...
Anyway, they feed Six that nasty poison tar shit.
Right.
And his reaction is worse than when I had those terrible enchiladas that made me sick for like 2 days.
Wood woo. Sorry, I just wanted that robotic thing in there. Yeah.
This turns into like a remix. Remix.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, man.
Alright, so that's sort of the end of episode 6, okay?
Yeah, they're just gonna watch him until the symbiote leaves him.
Yeah, exactly. Alright. Which it does, and then, yeah, like we said earlier, Kai gives it to CG, she kind of rides off, while Zan is, like, following her and knows exactly, and like, witnessed the whole thing, so she knows where, what's happening.
Yeah.
And then Zan does, so then it goes to episode 7, Legacy.
Okay.
And then this one more follows them tracking down the Earth Woo, which Kai has somehow... Oh no, okay, 6 tells him where he is, because McCullough shows 6. He tells him where the different Woos are, because he tells him about his plan about gathering them all together.
Yeah, so
that...
Legacy must be... Is that the one that starts with the kidnapped person in the cave?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like the Reservoir Dogs episode, right? The timeline is all... It jumps around?
No, that's the... I think that's the next one.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. That's the next one. Never mind. I'll edit that, put it later. Is this the one that has a great line from Lou going like, "Look, I don't care if you're the Goo Assassin. I don't even know what that means." I was like, that's a real moment right there.
I know, that's the thing. He's like, this is literally, he's like, I don't know what that means. That's just some words you told me yesterday. Okay,
Right,
he's
right.
like, literally, that means nothing to me.
It's like, I've been accepting a lot of stuff, including like murders and exorcisms, alright? Like, this is a lot, but like, look, I'm here for you.
Yeah, the episode Legacy, the main focus is on Kai and Uncle Six driving out to Oregon to face the Wood Woo, and sort of what that road trip entails. Like Uncle Six sort of recuperating and still being sickly.
Yeah.
Then there's the I don't want to say the famous, but like the huge diner moment.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
And then there's intermittently cut throughout the episode is the Earth Woo and that sort of kidnapping plot.
The Earth Woo is played by this guy that always portrays like some sadistic bastard. Like, let me look him up.
Kevin Durand.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, yeah, if you look at the thing, he was in The Strain, he was in Lost. Martin Keamy?
Right, he was in Lost, yeah.
Let's see. He's Gabriel in Legion, Little John and Robin Hood. He was in Smoking Aces. He was in The Butterfly Effect. Yeah, these are all very...
But yeah, they cut to him every once in a while. And it's kind of confusing what he's asking. girl. It kind of reminded me of the South Park episode where they make fun of Red Dragon, where they're like, "Here I am at the Grand Canyon. Do you see?" and yeah, she's just like, I don't understand. Like, yes.
Yeah, he's giving her this weird survey, and then she's just kind of like, she's trying to. I mean, I don't.
It doesn't sound very like evil villain-y to like.
It doesn't, but it's like, I mean, I don't know, a questionnaire. It's like,
it's like, there's a poll here. Could you please take the poll?
Exactly. It's like him going up to people on the street with a microphone, except. I mean, the word.
Excuse me, can you sign this petition about the nature of Earth?
Exactly. It's just like, do you think Earth serves humanity, or should humanity serve Earth? Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, the word survey is in no way menacing enough to convey what's going on in the situation, but it is like a survey. I don't know.
I'm an evil villain. I have a petition for you here.
I know. So, what the hell were we talking about?
I think it starts. We were talking about episode 7, and I like that 6 was cold. Like, I hadn't thought about that, but it's pretty funny that. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because he makes that comment. He's like, it's not my fault. He's like, I haven't been cold in 20 years or whatever, however long it's been.
Right, like, would it kill you to turn the heat up a little bit? And Kai's like, it's already up. I don't know.
He's like, it's already up. He's like, you have a blanket on you, dog. And he's just like, what the fuck, man?
At the same time, Kai's got like 8 layers on. It's like, dude, would it kill you?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been kind of funny if they had a scene where he pulls over to take off the coat and the sweater and all that.
I know. It's like, dude, you very clearly don't. It's like, if it's all the way up, you don't need to be wearing that leather jacket or whatever you have on.
It's like, it's my style. Like, he starts lying. Yeah. He's like, it's a Goo Assassin thing. I need to have this on.
I know. He's like, CW right there on the sleeve. It's like, dude, you just threw that in with a marker. Okay,
you're gonna break the fourth wall for this?
I know. But yeah, so they go on their road trip. They're talking, and I think it's even like Uncle Six remembers back to when he actually found the like Woo. He had to, I guess, dispose of a body and was digging or something, and then
that's right.
That's where he found that monk piece, and then got it.
Yeah, and they keep talking about how like he's gonna have to kill the Earth Woo and all that.
Yeah, Uncle Six is like, dude, he's like, your little exorcism isn't gonna help you. He's like, you're actually gonna have to kill someone. It's like, there's no other way to stop this. Are you prepared for that? And Kai's just like, yeah, I am. And then Uncle Six is like, no, you're not.
Yeah, which is probably right, because I mean, they have this complicated relationship where like Kai obviously like blames Six for killing a man in front of him. And I mean, it's debatable whether he needed to do that or not. But yeah, their whole turbulent relationship centers around killing somebody. So it's it's definitely.
And it's one of those things where Kai's like, he still has that sort of like rebellious child, like, you don't know me. And then Uncle Six is still just like, dude, I am your father. It's like, I raised you, dog. It's like, I do know like you.
Darth Vader,
yeah. No, Kai, I am your father. He's just like, oh, what? It's like, you mean this whole time you've been my birth dad? He's like, no, you crazy? I just raised you, dad. Come on. It's like, this is weird.
Who are the writers for this show?
Who is writing this? It's like, come on, dog.
But yeah,
it's like because we still can't get over that bathroom shower scene with the two of them together.
Yeah,
it's like,
I have so many questions still.
So many. But yeah, so that was that sort of thing where, I mean, that was like the thing where Uncle Six is like, you're going to have to kill that guy, right? And then Kai's like, God, I know, leave me alone, okay? Like that.
Yeah, I know, Dad.
I know, Dad, come on, all right?
Leave me alone, you don't even know.
You don't even know, okay? You don't even know. And then Uncle Six is like, dude, I'm the leader of the triad. I kill people literally every day, okay? Twice on Sunday, okay? It's like... It's like, gosh, you don't even know. He's like, no, I do. I literally do know.
It's like, this is the one thing I know about.
It's like,
I have a triad leader.
I have a triad leader, and also you should know, because I killed someone in front of you, dog. You've seen me do it, okay?
It's like, how much more proof do I need? I'm a cold-blooded killer. This is that. I don't even show emotion towards Zan, which he clearly would benefit from that.
that would strengthen our relationship. She probably wouldn't be plotting to do, which I'm guessing she might be. I don't really know. It's like, dude.
Oh.
So yeah, it's one of those things where Kai's still just like he doesn't want to hear it, and then Uncle Six is like, no, you. He's like, this isn't something simple of like. He's like, this is literally if you don't go in prepare to kill this guy, you are going to get killed, and then where are we gonna be? It's like.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how else to explain that. This is literally life and death here. Okay,
right.
it's like that's not a metaphor. Okay, you were gonna go in and either kill this person or get killed.
Right. Like, have you seen that guy in Lost? He is not friendly.
No, he is not friendly at all. Okay, it's like that dude has that crazy look in his eye. He's got a survey. If you don't pass the survey, you're gonna die. Okay. He's got a clipboard. Okay, that shit. He's not fucking around. Okay.
Oh, he's right. Never underestimate the clipboard.
Never, okay. So that sort of goes through, and then they end up driving to Oregon, and then they have the scene in the restaurant with the waitress. And that was one of the things when, like you were saying, well, like on Netflix, right? If you mouse over something, if you don't click on it, they might start playing a trailer.
Yeah.
And then, and the thing is in that trailer, that scene, is they show the restaurant scene, okay?
Right.
Which was kind of annoying. Because when I started watching the episode, or the series, right, like, because that didn't come in until episode 7, and the whole time you're just like, okay, are they going to kill each other? They're very clearly, like, this sort of cat and mouse game through the first couple of episodes, right? So then, but then that freaking restaurant scene is playing in my head. I'm like, so how do they get to that point where they're just like having a meal together? Because this is literally them trying to kill each other. So I don't know if it was like a weird spoiler, but it was like some weird thing I kept thinking about while I was watching.
That happens.
The series from the get-go.
It's like, I get it. Like, you want to get people to watch your show, and that's an awesome scene. So it would be a cool scene to be like, look, watch the show. But it is a huge spoiler because that is the main bad guy for the first few episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's sitting in a sweater that says, like, don't mess with breakfast or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a great sweater. I love that sweater.
It's an amazing sweater, but you're just like, how do they get to this point from, like, when you watch, like, episode 2 or 3, you're like, I don't understand how it leads to that.
Hey, Rico, at least you weren't waiting a whole movie to see a guy deflect a missile with a lunch tray, all right? I still love the professional, but...
Did we have this discussion again recently, or did I have...
I think we did. We might have had it in one of our earlier podcast attempts.
Like Count of Monte Cristo, we frequently talk about the trailer for The Transporter, okay, where in the trailer, Jason Statham deflects a missile with a silver tray, okay?
Yeah, just in the trailer. You can wait the whole movie.
Just in the trailer. It's not going to happen. Fran sat through the whole movie, like, debating this, okay? So then I went on YouTube and I found the trailer because I didn't remember the trailer at all. I was
at first you almost, I'm not going to say you didn't believe me, but you're like, what are you talking about deflecting missiles?
I was like, I saw the movie. Nothing like that happened. I was like... You're like, I'm not crazy. So then I went and looked up the trailer, and then the top-rated comment was specifically about the fucking silver tray deflection of the missile. And it was literally like word for word. It made me almost think that it was you who had written it, okay? But
it wasn't.
It was literally the top-rated comment of like, dude, I watched this whole movie looking for this thing, and then I went back to find out I'm not crazy. I didn't imagine a scene where Jason Statham deflected a missile. He's like, vindication, like proof.
Yeah.
And it just
I'm
like...
gotta have some solidarity out there with some waiting for that scene.
I know, exactly. It's like that Creed, all right? So then, that cracked me up more than anything, that it wasn't just you. It was like multiple people were having this like sort of like questioning their sanity. It's like, did I imagine that? Did I remember? Everyone went to the trailer to find out that they weren't crazy. And then I was like, because that's the reason I'm here. It just cracked me up that was the top rated comment.
Well, yeah, young teenage me was like, what's going to happen in this movie that gets to a point that he deflects a missile with a tray? Like, what? What is the scenario there? And they must have been like, this is too ridiculous, we gotta take it out, even though it got asses in seats.
It did. Like, you gotta lure them in somehow. You gotta bait and switch them. It's like, you bastards. All right. Anyway.
But yeah, going back to that, so that trailer was a little spoilery, but that is a great scene. He gives the lunch late, the
waitress.
server, the speech, and then the hillbillies come up to him, and he's like, "Oh, you really want to get him this?" It's like, "I'm sitting with the wood woo here." I'm sorry, did I say wood woo?
You did, Fran. Wood woo.
I'm sitting with the Woo Assassin here. So, yeah, we can roll.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, because it's one of those weird things where, like, she doesn't think she's being rude. She thinks she's being considerate by being like, oh, but then she's
Right.
being very rude by, like, because she was like, oh, you guys aren't from here. And then he was like, you mean Oregon? And then she just
Right.
goes, no, America. And he's like, why wouldn't that thing? So then.
Yeah, she keeps digging.
Yeah, she keeps digging, right? And then it was just like, because she's like, "Oh, are you enjoying or like, do you want anything else?" Which is a very like simple waitress thing to ask, right? Like,
Right,
"Oh,
that's fine.
that's fine. Are you enjoying your meal? Do you want anything else?" He's like, "No, no, we're fine with this." But then, yeah, she does keep prodding, like, because we can go back and make something else, which is like a weird thing, because normally in any restaurant
Yeah,
situation, when they're like, "Would you like anything else?" and the person just says, "No, we're fine." That's kind of it. It's
right.
only when someone's like, "Would you like anything else?" Is like, "Oh, I could probably use like a dessert menu or something like that." That's pretty much the
Yeah,
extent.
it wasn't an upsell. It was like, "Are you sure you like this food?" And like, she was like a hair's breadth away from being like, you don't need chopsticks, you good?"
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It wasn't like the upsells. It was just like it was the whole thing, and then yeah, the fight broke out. So then they had their brawl thing, and then they go out. Oh yeah, all the while, Lou is following them on this mission because he's
Yeah,
planning
he
on just
is.
like killing Uncle Six.
Yeah.
What the hell is gonna? Oh, and then they eventually get to the Earth Woo. At which point, Kai is just like, "Okay, you stay here. I'll go off and face this
Right.
guy." And
So the
then,
Earth Woo, like the kidnapped person has failed the survey and she's been turned to stone. There's like a whole Pompeii situation happening outside this cabin in the woods, and yet people still approach it.
people still approach it. I mean, it's one of those things. It's the only sort of like landmark or sign of civilization. So why wouldn't you approach it? And then yeah, like the boyfriend looking for the girl knocks on the Earth Woo's door, and then he does that classic slip of like, oh, how do you know her name or whatever,
Right.
or like or whatever the slip. It was some like slip,
Yeah,
and
it was
then
like that. Yeah, classic slip.
yeah, then the Earthwoo kills the boyfriend by turning him to a statue or whatever while he's running, and then the statue falls and shatters. Um, and then I don't know. What do your notes say, Fred?
Uh, my notes jump right to the fight between Kai and the Earthwoo, and it
Okay.
says that Earthwoo starts doing some Magneto shit, which is pretty cool. uh, yeah, that fight was pretty good. Like I'm all about like that's why I watch this show. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
like diner fights, cave fights, and breakfast sweaters. That's if you just keep that coming, like I'm in. You know,
I mean, yeah, it's like the diner fight is also a very classic sort of like kung fu film staple of just like some inconsequential setting, and suddenly it breaks out into a brawl. Because I don't know,
right.
the one I always think of is in the Buddhist Fist, where somehow they get into a fight with a tofu salesman in a marketplace where a dude's just trying to sell tofu, and then somehow it erupts into the biggest brawl you've ever seen, right? For no reason, and it's like, this
Right.
is what I signed up for. All right, this is what I
Yeah.
want. All right.
Like we knew what we wanted. Like it. Like sometimes because we're doing a podcast on this, as I start out the episode, I have like a little bit of anxiety. Like yeah, this show's alright, but what am I going to talk about? Like, what do you want me to say? Like, it's a kung fu show. But there's always something that I latch onto. Like, all right, that was interesting. I
Yeah,
can
there's
talk
no.
about how the Earthwoo has like a scorpion move where he leaves like a clone of himself and teleports to the other side. Like, all right, just spoil your stuff.
That's the Sub-Zero move, Fred.
Oh, is it Sub-Zero? All
Yeah,
right.
no, but no, I know what you mean. Yeah, because even that, and it's like one of those weird things where it's like, because so Kai eventually confronts the Earthwoo, and then the Earthwoo like goes down into the tunnel, and then it's just like It's like that moment. You're like, Kai, don't follow him. He's the Earthwoo. That's where he's strongest. It's like I know you pushed
Right.
that rock and everything, but come on, dude. You have a kitchen. It's like you have a kitchen knife, all right, buddy.
It's like, first of all, I didn't see you do any progress with the rock. It's still
No.
there. It's like, I can push a rock. I'm not the Goo Assassin.
Yeah, so then he goes in, yeah, then like he gets trapped in the rocks. Like the dude literally caves the tunnel in on him, and then you're just like, well, there you go, dog.
It's like, is this going to turn into a 147-hour situation?
I know, it's like you have the knife, you're gonna cut off your other arm with it. It's like I've seen this movie before. All right, I've seen it.
Imagine if Kai like has no hesitation. He's like, I've also seen this movie. Let's go.
Let's go. It just does it.
Just starts going at it.
And the Earthwoo's like, what the fuck? I didn't think you'd do that. Like he releases him like just out of sheer stun.
He's like, dude. The Earthwoo's like, it wasn't even that heavy. You could have easily gotten up.
I know, he's like, you could have lifted it up, man. He's like, I assume you have some sort of training pushing rocks. Like he makes that assumption. Okay.
By the way, we don't need to say spoilers for 147 hours because that is the premise of the movie. Who went to see that movie without knowing what? It's like, oh, is that the movie about the guy who cuts his arm off? Yes, it is. Yes,
yeah,
it is.
That's the plot of the movie.
That's a plot and the premise.
Yeah.
It's like, there, we just saved you 147 minutes or however long that movie is. That's what happens.
That's what happens, okay? The dude gets trapped and he cuts off his own arm.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, then what happens? No, then he gets out. Because he cut off his own arm.
That's it.
That's it.
What are you expecting to happen?
It's like, what else were you to tell me? It's like, were you to tell me as a happily ever that somehow they went back and like retrieved the arm and get no. Okay.
What, you're expecting he turns into like Jax and becomes a Mortal Kombat character?
Exactly. It's like fucking Winter Soldier. They build him a robotic arm. No, not at all. Okay.
That's it.
That's
what
it.
happens.
It's literally what happens. Okay.
Again, saved you 147 minutes.
Oh man. So
Winter Soldier.
So anyway,
he ends up killing the Earthwoo with some pretty cool moves.
Yeah, he does end up killing the Earthwoo, and it's one of those things where it's like, it is sort of like in the heat of battle he kills them, right? So it's not like a straight up like murder. So it's kind of easier to like kind of, I don't want to say justify, but understand that Kai, even if he doesn't have a problem, even if he has a problem straight up like, you know, quote unquote murdering someone, like if you're in a fight to the death and it's like that's your only choice, either you're gonna die or you're gonna stab the other person, right? So then it's sort of like, okay, it was his first kill, but like even within those circumstances, he had the adrenaline going. So it's not like I'm gonna die. Do I really have this philosophical debate right now? It's like yin yang. What do I do? Okay, it's like, is at any point can we talk this out? It's like no.
Yeah, and they film it in a way that it's clear that it's basically self-defense. Like what's he gonna do? He's fighting in a cave. This guy's making stone clones of himself.
I know this motherfucker has a clipboard. He's crazy. There's no stopping him.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's kind of shocked that he killed him, but I guess it happened.
Yeah.
And as he's dying, Earthwoo goes like, keep the goober away from the collar because he wants to. Oh, does he say he wants to open the gate, or does he get that far? He warns him not to keep it away from the collar.
Yeah, he does warn him. He does give him something. And then after the fight, Kai gets out of the cabin, and then he hears a gunshot.
Right. Which we go from like what I like about the show, which is the crazy kung fu stuff, to like Lou having this grudge, and it's like, well, what I like about the show is keep the fights coming, like less of the like, I used to be a perfect 10, now I'm a 9.9, so I'm gonna kill you because of my scars. Like Lou is still pissed, but thankfully it seems like he moves on from that vendetta against Six by not killing him here.
Right, exactly. So then that was episode 7, Legacy. I don't know, do you have any more specific notes on the episode, Fran?
Nope.
Okay. So then...
Episode 8 is called...
Ladies' Night.
Right, and it starts out with Zan looking like the Terminator.
Yeah, going into the police station. So this is the Tarantino multiple timelines leading up to the same point
This is the
episode.
Reservoir Dogs episode.
Yeah, so it starts out with Zan going into the police station. She sets off the metal detector. She looks like the Terminator and like fucking the Matrix, like sort of that like entering
Right.
in. And then the metal detector goes off. She gets scanned. They don't reveal anything. Or they don't find anything, I should say. And then when she gets to the elevator,
which is weird because then they're like, all right, proceed. Like we're not going to spend more than 2 minutes doing this. Like,
yeah, they're like, fuck it. But then they sort of shrug, and then she goes into the elevator, and then she takes, I guess, sheaths off her heels.
Yes. Yeah, she turns full Bond villain here.
Full Bond villain, okay. Full Bond, full Kingsman villain with the blades in the feet. And then then she goes in and then just immediately starts killing people. It's not even like she tries to like creep around to confirm. She just immediately like starts massacring.
She stabs a guy in the eye.
Straight up in the eye. It's like some dude walking around with his coffee, just minding his day. Right?
The poor bastard didn't even see it coming. No pun intended.
I think he literally asked her, "Is like, oh, do you need help or how can I help you or something today?" It was like,
help yourself to this. Oh, terrible.
That is terrible, but it's amazing, Fred.
What a weird character Zan would be if she's throwing in like Spider-Man quips like that. She's like cold-bloodedly.
That's the thing.
People.
Is like this stoic, silent character, but before she kills someone, she serves them this cheesy one-liner.
She shoots a quip off.
That's the thing. It's like she's silent because she's spending all of her time thinking about the perfect things to say before she kills someone. That's why she's so silent. Okay,
that would be a great villain. Just completely deranged. It's like I don't know what box this villain fits into.
So then, oh god, I can't get over that. It's like, hi, how can I help you? Help yourself to someone else that kills. God damn it, Fred, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, there was a funny line from around this time in the episode where they're like interrogating Tommy, like they picked him up somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to, because I didn't keep very specific notes on the episode and it jumps around, but they pick him up at a supermarket.
Okay.
And,
so this is what happened. Okay. So like you said before, Tommy sort of like tries to reach out to this girl at NA, Narcotics Anonymous, right? And then she explains how like her boyfriend's kind of like a piece of shit. And then it's kind of like fueling sort of this like loop about her drug problem, why she keeps going back. So then Tommy decides, first he asks Kai, it's like, you know, you're literally someone called a Goo Assassin. Can you go like take care of this dude, right?
Right.
And then Kai's like, no, that's not really why I have this power. He's like, are you sure?
Right.
So then anyway, Tommy takes, so this happened in the episode 6, actually, where, Tommy takes oh god, we have to go back. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I don't. It's like, how far do I need to go back to explain it? Anyway, they take one of the guns from one of the Russians that tried to kill them, and then they put it in a safe in the restaurant. Tommy goes, gets that gun, and then he decides to take care of the girl's boyfriend or whatever. And then it's the stupidest, worst thing. Because, I mean, he's never killed anyone or anything.
No, it's terrible.
And then, so he ends up dropping the gun in the Uber that the guy drives. And then he just ends up leaving and running away. He leaves the gun, right?
Right.
So then, you know, like, they don't show it, but the driver, you know, he finds the gun, contacts the police or whatever.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, okay, we found a gun. It had, because Tommy's been in the system, so it has his fingerprints on it, and it's a gun linked to like a Russian or whatever. It was used in the killing of the nightclub of
Oh, right.
So then they were like, okay.
With the assassins that liked, what is that song?
Ace of Base, I saw the sign. Good old
I saw the sign.
Good old early 90s. So then they pick him up on suspicion of murder, because there's a gun tied to this murder and your fingerprints are all over it, and it's like, and it's not even like your fingerprints are all over the gun. It's like that too, but it's it's a freaking Uber, so it's like it's an electronic record of who uses the service or whatever.
Even Tommy knew like there was like insurmountable evidence against him. As soon as he saw two people dressed up walking towards him, he's like, all right, I'm calling my sister. Hey, I'm getting arrested.
Yeah, he calls his sister. He's like, hey, I'm getting arrested, right? So then so he gets interrogated, and then even one of the cops interrogate him. Is like, this dude is very much not a fucking assassin. He's just like, a low level like junkie and sort of like triad gangbanger wannabe. So
right.
But the other guy is just like, no, whatever, who cares? We have clearly his fingerprints on a gun. Use this. We can just like do this. And then the cop's like, no, it's like clearly not him, but he clearly has a connection.
Yeah.
So then...
And it was funny while they were sweating him, and then Tommy eventually breaks and starts telling the truth about what's going on. He's like, look, there's people with superpowers, and one of the cops goes like, what, like Batman? He's like, Batman doesn't have superpowers. Like Thanos level shit. Motherfucker.
He does, but that line was gold.
It was so good. And then he even starts explaining himself. He's like, I know I'm mixing DC and Marvel here.
I know. Because even then he has to justify his shit. He's like, no, I know I'm crossing universes or whatever, but it's like... Yeah, so that
It'd be funny if there was a third cop, like, alright, this guy might be crazy, but at least he's got his Marvel and DC straightened out.
I know, exactly. Yeah, because it's one of those things where he's like, okay, he's like, I know I didn't do anything wrong or whatever, you guys arrested me, but it was like... That thing is like, dude, you don't know what I've fucking seen. There's nothing you bastards can do to, like, scare me after the shit that's gone down.
Right.
Then that goes in with the timeline of his sister, of what Jenny's, like, doing that leads her up to getting to the police station. And then, what is it? Oh, CG, then it jumps to CG purposely getting arrested to get her bag thrown into evidence, and then, as, like, the safest place to keep the fire emblem or whatever, the fire shard.
Yeah.
And then they introduce the Metal Woo, who can actually like take people over.
Yeah. Metal Woo just kind of possesses your body while doing that what do you call that hand massaging thing, or
yeah, I don't know.
What do you call those things?
I don't
relaxation stones or something. I used to have some too. My dad left them to me.
I was like, I'm sure there is a specific name for them, but I can't. And what happens if I just Google 2 metal balls?
Just as long as you stay away from the image search, you're probably fine.
Oh, okay. No, actually, hey, that whatchamacallit, that brought him up. So they actually are Bowding.
That could have gone much worse.
It could. That's why I was like wary of it. So they're actually called Bowding balls. Oh, they actually are Chinese. Are metal balls small enough to hold in one hand. They're also known as Chinese balls for ball practice. What the hell? Exercise.
I'm not even touching that low hanging fruit.
It's right there, Fred. It's right there, man.
It's too easy. I gotta pass on it.
So then also Chinese health balls, Chinese meditation balls, and Chinese medicine balls. Bowding balls are used by rotating 2 or more balls repeatedly in one hand, intended to improve finger dexterity, relax the hand, or aid in recovery of muscle strength and motor skills after surgery. Bowding balls work similarly to Western stress balls. So yeah,
they're pretty cool. They make this like very soft, echoey bell sound this chime when you're.
Yeah, it is very sort of soothing, like or mellifluous, like that sound they make. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it's just whatever.
Well, those ancient secrets,
Those ancient things, right? Yeah. So that metal has those things.
And that's kind of one of the only tells of like whether he's possessed somebody.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only tell you get that person has it.
Yeah.
Great. Now I feel like buying a pair just to practice for my hand dexterity.
Hey, I mean that stuff's. I think I used them a little bit after my hand injury to like regain some
motor skills. Yeah. I definitely
some motor skills.
I definitely need it on my left hand. I don't know. That was the thing. I tried practicing writing with my left hand just in case something happened to my right hand, and it's a fool's game.
Oh, trust me, after being forced to write with my left hand for a few weeks, yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. But anyway,
like, I remember thinking when I was buying something, like, what happens if I just make my mark, like the X at a receipt in the store? Like, is this gonna go through? Is it gonna bounce?
I know, it's like
I can't sign.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking. I was like, we don't have personal seals anymore. I was like, what happens if you had that, like a little stamp, like that you could just stamp things with, and you'd be good to go.
Oh shit. That's right. I think I've mentioned it before to you how I have that ring my dad had for the wax seal.
Yeah.
I should just start wearing that in anticipation of any hand injuries.
It's like, why isn't that a cultural thing anymore?
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Fucking John Hancock ruining it for the rest of us.
I know, right? Fancy penmanship.
Well, we don't really have family seals anymore, do we? Oh, I mean, not that they don't exist, but for the majority of people, they don't have like a fancy crest. Although,
plus, is the whole like family crest thing more of a European thing? I feel like it's not.
It is, but that's the thing. It's like a lot of Americans come from Europe, so you'd think they would have brought their family crest with them. Did it get lost in translation? Yeah. Is it that whole Ellis Island thing changing everyone's name?
Right.
So
probably a little bit from column A and B.
So then that's one of those things I wonder. It's like, well, then can you? It's like, because to have a family crest, someone just must have started it. Like so can you just start one yourself? It's
I know. What gives you the right?
Yeah, it's like
to start a family crest.
What gave someone in the past the right to have this family crest, and why can't we do it nowadays? Right.
Right.
Because I actually was doing that because of I don't know. Have you ever seen J.R.R. Tolkien's like symbol that he has for his name?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, how he actually just...
I will one-up you. Have you ever seen J.R. Tolkien's, like, Santa book? It is badass. Like, he shows off a lot of his, like... Yeah, Santa Claus. He has, like, a Santa Claus book.
No, I don't think I have.
And it has a lot of his drawings and his writing in it. And, yeah, he has great, like, penmanship. It's awesome.
Damn. Oh, yeah, the Father Christmas letters.
That's it. Huh.
But no, yeah, so he had a really cool thing where he took all of his letters and literally slapped them together into one symbol.
Mm.
So he has like it was like the T is like the base of it, and then the two like legs coming out of the sides are like the J's, right? And then he has connecting into one J like the loop for the R. So it's this really sort of like symmetrical, beautiful thing, and it just fully encompasses his symbols. So I tried doing that with my initials, right? Trying to make my own thing like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, then can I just have that as like can I just have that as a stamp and then put that on things? Like,
right.
It's like, why isn't that a thing that we can do anymore? Like,
I know. It's funny because it is something dating back, but as a kid, I remember my dad had like a really ancient, like an old cattle brand that was part of his family from way back in the day, and it had my initials because I guess my name's been recycled.
Passed down, yes. That happens with many of us Latino folk where...
Right.
Because that's the thing, right?
Which I should find out what number. It'd be badass to throw in like the 6th or the 7th after my name.
That would be hardcore, Fred.
But yeah, it had the FG, and the F was inside the G, and it was pretty cool. I unfortunately lost that in one of the movies.
Do you remember what it looked like? Can you recreate sort of the drawing of it?
I probably could, but can I go to like an ironsmith or something? Who do I go to like recreate it?
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe not a full-on cattle brand, Fred. I think you can just recreate it as a stamp, okay?
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't think you need to go to a blacksmith.
Like, I want the whole brand.
Like, you show up to a blacksmith with like an iron ingot and just like some wrought iron, be like, dude, turn this into a cattle brand. It's like, no one has cattle brands anymore. It's like, you don't live on a cattle farm. We're in Massachusetts. And then you're like, no.
He's like, first of all, what you brought me is not iron. I can't work with that.
I can't even work with this, all right?
No, Rico, I was going there to like recreate it because that thing used to be the first line of defense. He had it next to the door in case there was any like post midnight knocking on the door, you know?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
You're gonna get the brand.
You're getting the brand. I like how it's not just the brand. Like, there's also probably like this cauldron filled with hot coals just in case he needs to stick it in, just to fully make it. It's not enough that he's beating someone with iron. It's that he has to heat it up first and then just because then that lets the like people people know that they've attempted to rob your family. They've been branded.
Right.
God, that's some hardcore, like, shit.
That is. Isn't there like some superhero or vigilante that does? Oh, it's a Phantom with the punch.
Yes,
with
the
the
Phantom.
ring,
He has the
right?
ring. He punches you so hard that it leaves the mark. And then also in fucking Batman vs Superman, where he was branding people. It's like, dude, I
Oh god.
don't remember, because I was like, I don't remember fucking Batman ever doing this. But then it's also the thing like Zorro, that trademark where he leaves the Z in their shirt.
Oh right, yeah, it's true.
So that's an old trope. Oh god, now I'm saying
Yeah.
trope all the time because of Chris, that magnificent son of a bitch.
Glorious bastard.
But no, yeah, I think you can at least just start out small, Frank. Get it like a stamp or like, because I don't know about here. I know there are other places that do that still.
Should.
Like, I mean, other countries and cultures will still like. You can actually you can literally go to your own, like, make your own thing. It's not even like you need a family specific. It's like, oh, what elements do you want in this to symbolize you? Like, if say like you want a specific bird or like a flower type or something, and then like some initials you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It'd be funny because then I'd want to use it like at any occasion.
That's the thing.
People are like, I went up to that guy to ask him for directions. I came away with like a branded envelope, and he told me it was the 7th. I don't even understand.
Well, I'm imagining you be like, hey, can you help me for directions? The guy's like, sure. And then meanwhile, you just take out your ink pad and your stamp, and then you do it, and then you just put it on his forehead and like, thank you for your service, and walk away. And the guy's like, what the fuck was that? It's like, did I just get branded? I don't. It's like
I think I just got assaulted. You gotta call the police.
And then it's like one of those things like, dude, he left his mark on me. It's right there. You can see it. Okay. It's literally one of a kind. It's literally one of a kind, okay? How the hell did we start talking about this?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We are so far gone.
And, oh no!
I think the episode ends with the metal Wu taking over CG's body.
We skipped the whole episode. We went for the first 10 minutes to talking about cattle branding to now just talking about the end credits. Okay, that's the only way we could save ourselves from this. So anyway, ladies' night. Okay, so Ladies' night. So it is a thing. It is an episode where the focus of the characters is on the female, CG, Zan, and Jenny. I mean, and the other, and it's going through all of their things mainly to. Well, Zan is going to get the Fire Wu piece. CG tries to like talk to her superior, but then also hides the Fire Wu piece in the police station, and then Jenny's there to get Tommy out because he's been arrested. Okay, so then and then
right. By the way, I thought that was hilarious that she hides it in like the pad box.
Yeah.
And I like that the cop checking out the materials is just like, yeah, I'm not opening that. I'm not looking into that. So he's like itemizing all this stuff. He's like, all right, when you get out, sign for it here.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks inside the takeout box, but doesn't look inside the other one.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Not wrong, okay. Most guys. I mean, it's...
Sign for your items.
Sign for your items. So then, then it turns into a huge brawl after Shed, which now I'm saying that as being canon, where the police officer's like, hi, can I help you with something? And Zan's like, help yourself to some of this. Okay, in my head, that is canon. That happened in the show, okay?
That happened.
And then that turns into the huge brouhaha, and then meanwhile, like, the Metal Wu is sort of going around, he's hopscotching between victims, I guess, and then they ultimately get to a point where they retrieve the Fire Wu piece, but then the Metal Wu is actually able to possess CG. Right. And then there's the threat of like, okay, Jenny, you're completely surrounded. Basically, either it's like you either get attacked here or we kill your brother, because they were able to recoup McCullough and his people were able to recoup Tommy, and then they're threatening Jenny's like, okay, give us the Fire Wu or I'll kill your brother, and then he just straight up like stabs Tommy to show that he's not fucking around.
Yeah, that was messed up.
So then Jenny just at that.
I couldn't even tell what he stabbed him with. It looked like some kind of like wood shard.
That was it. I mean, he has the wood woo, so that's exactly what he did. He just used some wooden shank, basically.
But I've never seen him materialize wood other than like that makeshift shard.
But it's implied. All right, it's implied.
It's implied. It's like, I don't think you need powers to carry out some like broken tree root in your pocket and just stab someone with it.
Well, that's now that you mention that makes me think of, because it's fucking whatchamacallit, because he's Scottish. Brave. Oh no, it was the crazed Irishman who did it to the Scots in Braveheart, where they checked him for weapons, right? And then one of the Scotsmen like said fucking Irish or something, and so the Irishman pulls out a fucking wooden knife that he's clearly just sharpened,
Oh, shit.
and then he
Nice.
and then he threatens one of the Scotsmen, and then oh god, all right, spoiler alert for Braveheart, okay. But anyway, so the crazed Irishman who talks to God has like a wooden knife, so that made me think of that. When McCullough stabbed Tommy with this like wooden shank, I was like, I've seen this before. I've seen this move somewhere.
Yeah.
But then so then Jenny consumes. At that point, she's sort of backed into a corner. Is like, no, fuck it, and then she consumes the fire woo for herself. And then I don't remember if she immediately goes Human Torch and like throws out a flame blast.
She seems pretty comfortable with the power from the get-go, and McCullough tries to like imply that she probably doesn't know how to use it, but she looks like she does.
I think she goes like full fucking ace and does like fire fist on him.
Right. She's like Mozart the first second he walked up to the piano. I know what I'm doing.
Full tilt. All right. So then, and it's also one of those things where it's been like sort of set up throughout the series where Jenny's kind of like telling Kai's like, oh, why did you get this power? If I had it, I'd be doing this with it. And it's like, sort of, and it has set up sort of like her envious, like, I don't know, full envy, but definitely sort of like a lament for it. And then when she gets the opportunity, like, even if it is to save her brother, like, you can see that there's no hesitation, there's no like doubt. She's just like, now I have the power of Grayskull or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
well, she is more of an aggressive character than Kai.
Is.
Like, she does the whole Fight Club thing, whereas Kai just wants to cook food.
He just wants his food truck, man. He's like, I just want my food truck, all right? He's like, I just want to be a chef. I like making food, all right? Let me just do that. And then, she literally goes to underground fight clubs. She likes that adrenaline. And then, so then she immediately gets the power. And then I don't really remember how it ends, where she gets sort of like kidnapped, because they all get taken. Does she just get hit in the back of the head or something? Is it something simple like that, where she just...
I think it might have just been the threat of like, if you don't come with us, where your brother's gonna die because I need to heal him. It might have just been that.
Okay, so basically all the team there get taken by McCullough. So Jenny gets kidnapped, Tommy's stabbed, he's taken, and then CG is now possessed by the metal woo. And that's sort of where Ladies' Night ends. And then that's episode 8. And then it's like Lou, and I don't remember if it happens throughout Ladies. I don't remember if they really show Kai, Lou, and Uncle Six, but Lou is kind of, even though he like, I think fired a bullet, he didn't like hit Uncle Six or anything, and then just sort of kind of like uses that to let go of his anger.
Right.
And then
it's sort of like Lou stops being so hateful towards Six after that.
And then that's sort of, and then it goes into episodes 9 and 10, which are like a 2-parter for the finale of season 1.
Right, so we'll save that for a separate episode.
All right.
But was there anything else you wanted to add for 6 or 8?
No, we've talked about so much other stuff that is not Goo Assassins. I think if you look at like how much context, I think it's mostly us talking about everything but Goo Assassins. Right.
Is there anything you want to add about Count of Monte Cristo?
Well, Count of Monte Cristo, he uses a seal too when he puts in for like Edmond Dantes' like prison thing.
Shit.
Why aren't they a thing, man?
Seals are the way to go. They need to be a thing.
It's so much easier.
Yes. I'm sold, man. I'm sold. Where's the nearest ironsmith?
Yeah. Fran, we don't need an ironsmith. Okay, you don't need like a silversmith to make it out of pure platinum or whatever. It's like...
I agree to disagree. You think I'm just gonna pop open Photoshop free edition and whip something together?
And then, like, carve it into some wood like an animal? Yes, Fran, yes. I do think that. Okay. I think you...
I want something that's going to be unearthed in hundreds of years, and they go, "Oh shit, what is this?"
I don't know. I just think it would be cool. I mean,
yeah,
and because I just think about again. It's like, what happens if something happens to my right hand? I've built my whole life around being able to use my right hand, and if that goes, what happens? It's like we don't have fucking like Star Wars technology. I can't Luke Skywalker a new hand.
I know, right? It's like, if anything, Luke was better off after that.
I know. That shit is stronger. It doesn't get tired. The grip strength is insane. He can crush people's skulls, I'm assuming, with a robotic hand. Okay.
It's like, when it's cut off again, he already knows the model number he needs.
He does, all right. I mean, it does feel pain because they established that in Empire. Okay, spoiler alert for Star Wars, okay?
Rico, do a robotic spoiler alert for anything that's mentioned from here on out.
Oh, God, how do I do... Spoiler alert. No, I need spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Right? That's it.
That's amazing.
I had to get the right cadence. I was like, because there is a cadence.
You got it. I imagined like freaking neon lights coming out of your eyes when you said that.
Oh, God.
Alright. Well, I guess let's end it here.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.